Have you ever wondered if the Bible holds actual secrets to prosperity? Not just promises, not just hope, but real, practical wisdom that can transform your income, your legacy, and your financial destiny? While the world turns to gurus, trendy shortcuts, and unstable systems, God already left behind a divine blueprint. Today, you're not just watching another video. You're stepping into a revelation. Get ready, because what you're about to hear could unlock the doors of abundance you've been praying for. This is Messiah Speaks, and today, we dive into the 5 most powerful biblical principles that changed my financial life forever. Let's begin. Asterisk, and what if I told you that the Bible contains principles so powerful, they can completely transform your finances, your income, and your financial legacy? While the world seeks answers from gurus, magical formulas, and questionable shortcuts, God already left in His Word the exact steps to live in purposeful abundance. What's missing isn't the promise, it's understanding. Many believe that having faith is enough to prosper. But the truth is, faith without practical wisdom is like a powerful engine without fuel full of potential, but going nowhere. God doesn't just want you to trust Him. He wants you to act with strategy, with excellence, with eternal vision. Because the kingdom isn't built on fleeting emotions, it's built on solid foundations. This video is not just another one. Here, I'm going to reveal the 5 most powerful biblical principles I personally use to multiply my income and see real results. These are principles I learned through tears, through failure, but also through divine revelation. And I assure you, if you apply them, you'll see the difference. Stay until the end, because the last principle was the one that unleashed a season of supernatural acceleration in my life. Now, let's begin with the root of the problem. Because before you prosper, you need to identify what's sabotaging your blessing. When I first started my faith journey, I believed that if I just prayed and stayed faithful in church, everything would align on its own. But the reality was very different. My finances didn't add up. My debts kept growing. The mental exhaustion was stealing my sleep. And I began asking myself, if I love God, why am I not progressing financially? The answer hit me like a shock. Having faith is not the same as having direction. Proverbs 4:7 says it clearly. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom. And with all you're getting, get understanding. I realized I had been living on spiritual emotion, but without practical strategy. The kingdom of God doesn't operate on good intentions alone. It moves with applied revelation. You can have the right heart, but if you don't know the principles that govern the finances of heaven, you'll live far below your potential. Faith is the bridge, but wisdom is the map. Without both, you can't move forward with strength. One of the quietest mistakes I made was depending on only one source of income. I thought that if I was faithful at my job or business, God would bless that. But God is not limited to one channel. He blesses the one who's willing to step out onto the water, not the one who stays waiting on the shore. I also fell into the trap of comparison. I saw others prosper and assumed that I was doing something wrong. But the issue wasn't my calling, it was my lack of preparation. God never promised things would happen automatically. He promised to multiply what is sown with intention, order, and faith. The saddest part? For years I blamed God for my lack. Where are you? I asked, but He had always been there. I was the one who hadn't sought His counsel. And when I finally did, everything started to change. It wasn't overnight. But every small step in obedience started correcting my direction. And then, I understood what sabotages the prosperity of many is not the enemy. It's their misalignment with the principles already written in the Word. And that awakening led me to apply the first principle that changed my finances forever. Are you ready? Principle number 1. Excellence. God does not bless things done halfway. Many ask for abundance, but offer mediocrity. They want extraordinary results with average effort. But the Word confronts us with a higher standard. Whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not to men. Colossians 3:23, excellence is not perfection. It's giving your best with what you have today. I learned this principle while watching a documentary about the making of Toy Story. Every detail was planned. Every character, every sound, every movement. It was a multi-million-dollar project because it was done with excellence. And you know what hit me? What impacts generations doesn't come from rush. It comes from care and dedication. Then God spoke to me. Are you building your projects as if they were for me, or to impress men? That question broke me, because many times we seek applause more than purpose. We want to go viral but not to edify. And God doesn't bless what's superficial. He blesses what's authentic and deep. When I started applying excellence to my small projects, everything changed. They weren't perfect, but they were dedicated. Every message, every product, every design was filled with prayer, vision, and attention to detail. And that's noticeable. Because even if the world doesn't understand your faith, it always respects your excellence. And here's a secret. Few will tell you. Many Christian businesses fail because they don't reflect Christ in their work. It's not enough to put a Bible verse in your logo. You must build with integrity, with excellence, with kingdom vision. Because the Bible is not just a book to preach from. It's a manual to prosper from. Asterisk. And speaking of applied wisdom, I want to recommend something truly important. For years, I've gathered powerful principles hidden in the Word, principles with the power to transform your financial life. These aren't just theories. They're revealed truths, confirmed by personal experience. Now in my book, I share the 10 biblical secrets that changed my financial story. But let me clarify, this isn't for people looking for shortcuts. It's for those who want to build a business or financial life with purpose, divine foundation, and real results. It even includes a 30-day challenge that's been proven by hundreds of readers. A guide to activate your faith and your actions with divine order. Most people have read the Bible, but don't know how to apply it to their business and finances. This guide shows you how. And instead of inviting you to purchase anything, I want to ask you something else. If this message is speaking to you, leave a comment below. Let us know which principle is challenging or inspiring you. That interaction is a seed, and your testimony might bless someone else. Now, back to the truth. God does not bless things done halfway. If your work doesn't reflect the one you serve, you're wasting the greatest backing in the universe. Because when you work with excellence, as if for heaven, heaven takes care of multiplying your seed. Principle number 2. Stewardship. Manage. Before asking for more, many pray for more income, but don't take care of what they already have. It's like asking God for a harvest without sowing anything, or asking for more tools without having used the ones He already gave you. Luke 16:10 says, "Whoever is faithful with little will also be faithful with much." And that's where everything begins. How you manage the little. God's multiplication doesn't start with abundance. It starts with faithfulness. When you care for every penny, when you avoid unnecessary spending, when you create a budget with prayer and vision, you are telling God, "Lord, I can handle more." And God hears that. Because He's looking for stewards, not consumers. Sometimes, it's not that money is lacking. It's that order is missing. There are people who earn good money but still live in scarcity. Everything goes to the urgent, the impulsive, the unnecessary. And when the end of the month comes, there's no peace, no savings, no direction. That is not God's design. He desires that we manage with purpose and vision. A clear example is Joseph in Egypt. He wasn't blessed just because he could dream. He was blessed because he knew how to manage. During the years of abundance, he organized the resources, he planned, he foresaw. And when the crisis came, Egypt prospered while others fell. That same principle is still alive today. Stewardship is prophetic. Have you made a budget this month? Have you prayed over your expenses, your investments, your financial decisions? It's not just something for companies. It's something for the wise, because every expense reveals your priorities. Every investment shows your vision. And if God isn't included in your financial plans, how can you expect to see His hand? Now I want to pause and speak directly to your heart. If you're struggling with your finances, if you're anxious about debt, scarcity, or confused about decisions, I want to invite you to do something powerful. Leave your prayer request in the comments. Write it in faith. We will pray for you and with you. You are not alone. And even more, if you see another person's prayer request, pray for them too. The kingdom of God grows stronger when we intercede for each other. Your financial miracle could begin the moment you pray for someone else's miracle. Shared faith becomes stronger faith. Remember, God will not give you more unless He can trust how you use what you already have. Are you being intentional with your income? Are you sowing into good soil? Are you investing with wisdom? Are you building a legacy? Because stewardship is not just about money, it's about destiny. And if today you decide to organize your finances, even if it's with little, you're activating a greater promise, because the kingdom moves by principles. And faithfulness in the small is the invisible key that opens greater treasures. Principle number 3, practical excellence. Do everything as if for God. Excellence is not perfection. It's not about never making mistakes. It's about giving your best with what you have, where you are, with what you know today. Colossians 3:23 reminds us, whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not to men. This is a key that opens invisible doors. In a world that rewards fast mediocrity, excellence stands out. And when you do everything as if Jesus Himself were your client, your boss, or your business partner, something shifts. Effort becomes honor. And honor attracts favor. Many want multiplication, but still work with mediocrity. God does not bless carelessness. Look at the story of Toy Story again. It was created with such attention to detail, music, script, visuals, that it crossed generations. It wasn't just animation. It was legacy. Now imagine that, multiplied by God's hand. When you decide to live and work with excellence for His glory, it changes everything. Excellence is also spiritual. It means not doing the bare minimum in your business, ministry, or job. It means double-checking, delivering ahead of schedule, improving even when no one asks. That mindset builds reputation. And reputation attracts resources, because opportunity chases excellence. And here's a real story. Jose Luis from Monterrey had a small taco stand. But he decided to do things differently. Every tortilla was made fresh. The service was impeccable. The place was clean, with background music. "This is for God," he said. 2 years later, he opened 3 new locations. Today, he employs 18 families. What changed? His standard. His excellence. Excellence doesn't depend on how much money you have. It depends on the heart you put into what you do. If today all you can sell is homemade bread, let it be the best in your neighborhood. If you teach, do it with passion. If you write, review every word. If you run a business, treat it as if it were a temple where you serve God. Many people fail not from lack of talent, but from lack of excellence. They go for what's easy, quick, shallow. But God honors those who honor. And when you decide to do everything for Him, He becomes your backing, your recommendation, your divine connection. Excellence opens doors that prayer alone does not. Not because prayer lacks power, but because God wants to see consistency between your faith and your action. God does not endorse negligence. He multiplies what was done with intention, respect, and purpose. Asterisk, and now I want you to do something prophetic. Write this in the comments. I choose to live with excellence for the glory of God. That phrase is not just a declaration. It's A spiritual seed. Every word has power. And when you declare with faith, something inside you starts aligning with heaven. Do it now. Write it. Declare it. Because this is one of the most ignored secrets by many, yet fully embraced by those who truly prosper. Excellence is not optional. It's an attitude that transforms everything it touches. Principle number 4. Financial order. God does not multiply chaos. God is a God of order. From Genesis, we see that before multiplying, He organized, and the same applies to your finances. Many pray for abundance, but live in constant financial disorder. No budget, no control, no clear vision, and God does not multiply what is not prepared to receive more. Proverbs 21:5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." Financial order is more spiritual than it seems. It's not just about spreadsheets and numbers. It's an active responsibility with the purpose God entrusted to you. Disorder is a silent thief. It doesn't steal everything at once, but it drains you little by little. Unnecessary spending, subscriptions you don't use, impulse purchases, avoidable debts, and the worst part? That disorder is often justified with phrases like, "God will provide," but without applying any wisdom. Organizing your finances doesn't make you less spiritual. In fact, it honors divine provision. Jesus multiplied bread and fish, but first, He organized the crowd into groups. The same goes for you. If there's no structure, the blessing is wasted. Ask yourself key questions. How much are you spending? In what areas could you reduce? Do you have an emergency fund? Are you investing wisely? Do you have financial goals aligned with your purpose? If you don't know the answers, it's not because you lack faith. You lack order. And order is the platform where abundance settles. Let me tell you about a young man named Andres from Guadalajara. He used to borrow money from relatives all the time, saying he never had enough. Until a mentor told him, "You don't need more money. You need order." He learned to separate what was essential, cut unnecessary spending, and plan his months ahead. Within a year, he paid off all his debts. And only then did God multiply what he had. Having order doesn't make you less spiritual. It makes you more efficient for the kingdom. Because whoever manages little well will be trusted with more. And if you still don't know where to start, here's your first step. Do a personal financial audit. Be honest. Not to feel guilty, but to gain clarity. Now, if you want to go deeper, if you want content that's more advanced, more revealing, more transformational, I invite you to become part of the Messiah Speaks membership club. There, you'll find exclusive mentorships and advanced teachings on biblical business, stewardship, spiritual wisdom, and a mindset of abundance. By supporting the channel as a member, not only will you receive early and exclusive access to our videos, you'll also become a sower of this mission. We honor your faithfulness by providing high-level content that truly transforms. Because those who sow in fertile ground also reap lasting fruit. If you're ready to go deeper, to grow further, click the join button and access the member area today. I'll be waiting for you there with content we don't share anywhere else. But now, take a deep breath, because the final principle in this video might forever change the way you see wealth. Principle number 5, legacy. What you build must go beyond you. One of the biggest mistakes in financial thinking is living only for today. But God didn't call you just to survive this season. He called you to leave an impact that transforms generations. Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." That inheritance is not just money. It's legacy. A poor mindset thinks about the end of the month. A kingdom mindset thinks 30 years ahead. Ask yourself, what are you building that will remain after you're gone? Will your children benefit from your decisions today? Or will they inherit debt, trauma, and repeated cycles? That's a confronting and transforming question. Legacy starts with intention. You don't need to be a millionaire to sow into others. You just need vision. Jesus lived only 33 years, but his legacy still impacts the world today. Why? Because he sowed into people. He taught principles. He formed leaders. And he gave his life on purpose. That's eternal wealth. Let me tell you about a woman named Juana in Monterrey. She was a street tamale vendor. She earned very little. But every day, she set aside a portion to help a local school in her community. Years later, that school created a scholarship named after her. Juana, she was never rich in the eyes of the world, but she was a millionaire in impact. When you decide to live for something greater than your personal desires, God expands your territory because he knows your heart isn't attached to gold, but to purpose. And when your wealth becomes a source of life for others, you enter a divine cycle of provision, honor, and supernatural multiplication. Many people fail because they only think about themselves. They want more just to spend more. But God honors those who think in kingdom terms. Who are you serving with your income? Who are you investing in that can give you nothing in return? That's the measure of your financial maturity. Legacy is also written with words. Teach your children the principles of prosperity through faith. Share what God has taught you along your journey. Don't hide your failures or your lessons. The wise leave records. The foolish keep everything to themselves and die without planting wisdom. And don't forget, your legacy is also written in silence, in the prayers you whisper for your family, in the decisions no one sees, in the forgiveness you extend, in the sacrifice you make out of love. All of that creates an eternal echo. And God does not forget those who sow in the invisible. This final principle isn't trendy on social media. It doesn't sell fast promises, but it guarantees that your life won't be in vain, because you can accumulate riches. You can own businesses. You can gain fame. But if you don't leave a legacy, you only lived for yourself. And that is not the way of the kingdom. And so we come to the end of this journey, but not without reminding you, each of these principles, lived out with faith, wisdom, and consistency, can completely transform your finances, your purpose, and your legacy. You've reached the end of this video, but in truth, this could be the beginning of a brand new season in your life. A season not just marked by growing income, but by a mature heart, active faith, and financial decisions aligned with God's eternal purpose. Remember, the principles you learned today are not motivational ideas or man-made techniques. They are spiritual truths revealed in the Word, applied over centuries by men and women who chose to honor God in their business, investments, and daily management. The world will tell you that prosperity depends on luck, contacts, or timing. But the kingdom teaches you that it starts in the invisible, with faith, with obedience, with order, with excellence, with sowing, with wisdom, and with legacy. If you apply these principles, you'll see lasting results, not just financial, but spiritual, relational, and emotional. And if you've made it this far, it's not by chance. It's because your heart is seeking more meaning, more direction, more results. And I assure you, God honors those who seek him sincerely. So I invite you, leave your prayer request in the comments. It doesn't matter if it's for finances, family, wisdom, or peace. We'll be praying for you, and if you see someone else's request, pray for them too. We are a community, and together we go farther. As promised, we'll leave a special playlist at the end of this video, so you can go even deeper into these biblical principles of business and prosperity. If this message impacted you, don't stop here. Go deeper. Study more. Apply more. The kingdom is not just theory. It is life in action. And finally, if you feel this video could help someone else, share it. It might be the answer someone has been praying for. And never forget, when you honor God with your finances, he takes care of multiplying everything else. May The Lord bless you abundantly in every area of your life. We'll see you in the next video.